This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all,
just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Hello, all of you out there. Good morning. And we're going to get right into money, 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 money. All right. You'll never guess how much Americans are demanding they get paid to get out of bed for work in the morning. It is nearly $80,000 a year, $78,645 to be exact. That's according to the Federal Reserve. And get this, that's nearly $20,000 more than the average salary these days, which is just under $60K. So what do we think about this? Does this sound unreasonable? First off, I want to say, Al, looking great in that fresh looking suit.
Well, thank you.
Loving it. What do you think about this?
So interesting we're doing this story because I actually thought about you, Jeff, this past week. You know, my folks were in town. We went out to Boulder, and we went to a great place that I've been before, but they used to do comedy there, so I never really ate. And I got a brat. They got 2 beet salads, and they each got a margarita. It was $100. 2 salads, hot dog on steroids, and 2 afternoon. It was $100. And I didn't even realize, I thought it was going to be, I just gave the woman my card, and when it said the tip option, it said 25% was 25. And I was like, this was 100? What were the salad? You know, and it's just like, it made me think about how much more expensive every single thing is, even just a casual outside lunch, salad lunch with your folks is $100.
Yeah.
And there were so many times in my life where I'm like, that would have sunk my budget for a week. You know, you could float on $100 for a long time at the grocery store, but not when you're out socializing and doing anything.
The disparity between how much the average income is versus how much a house is, depending on where you live, is astronomical as opposed to our past history, right? I think you have exact stats. But I just want to say, I don't disagree with, I want to make more money, but the answer of I'm not getting out of bed is totally the wrong philosophy. For me, again, I have my own philosophy. No one has to go by it. But if you have any sort of ambition or go get 'em or drive or I'm going to outwork the next guy, you are going to make money in this where we're at right now because nobody wants to work. Everybody thinks they deserve more. The kids that are at McDonald's right now that are making $20 an hour and they're 16, 17, 18, they're going to be future millionaires because they're getting up and they're going to work and they're out working the person next to them. That's what you need, that ambition. Again, do your own thing. That's what I'm going to teach my kids. When I go through the McDonald's drive-thru, I'm not joking, I get emotional.
Why?
When I see like 16-year-olds and they're like, with their shirt on, all tucked in, I'm like, what a good kid. You know what I mean? I don't know that kid, but I'm like, your friends are out doing whatever, and you're here working with your hat on, and you're gonna do something with your life. I don't know, I just get like emotional. There's like a sense of pride, and I don't even know them.
It's so weird that you say that. I don't eat McDonald's, but my kids consume it like on a different level.
Shut up, I'll get a happy meal.
Yeah, it's just like, what can I do to get this to stop? Yeah, and I go to, there's the McDonald's in LA that we go to all the time. Sometimes when I get in late, it's 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes I get in early, it's 5 in the morning. They're always, hello, sir, what can I get you? Line around the corner. I'm sure I'm one of the pleasant people, but you never know. People are drinking. And I was looking at the number of things that they're doing. They're taking somebody else's order as they're getting my change, taking my card, confirming my order. And I'm like, it's so weird, the crop of people we pick from. I guarantee you, when I can hire an employee, I will say it on national television, it will be someone from a fast food place. They are more skilled. I will take them over 5 college graduates. No shade, I'm a college graduate. But college is a lot of sitting around, like myself. When you're under pressure, when people are being rude to you and they know there's a position of power over you and you still can maintain your dignity and understand that there's still a process, that's a skill that cannot be taught in a classroom or on some app. That's happening in real life when somebody's calling you a dummy, and you still have to be respectful and understand that there's a day coming after this where you cannot treat people like that and be at that place. I don't know. I think working in a fast food place, there's a reason this country shades people like that, but I feel like those are our toughest people.
Very, very interesting point. point. Also, they micromanage and in the heat. I think about the summer.
And no shade to college graduates. I feel bad, but I'm dead serious.
I totally hear you, and I can totally understand the skill set that it would take to do that. Just so you guys know, the average American has savings rate. It went down from about 8.9% to 4.3% because eggs are $12,000.
$100 salads.
Ridiculous. On a related note, what's behind the rise of the DINK? Now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry. They are
Don't say it like that.
I know. They are childless couples, and the term stands for dual income, no kids. A new survey found that the recent rise in childless couples isn't due to folks pursuing their careers. Instead, it found that these couples preferred their financial freedom because the cost of having kids these days is so astronomical. What do you think about this? Just so you know, the average annual price has increased nearly 220% over the past 3 decades to have a child. Infant care, $13,000. Child care, $10,000. But the price of childcare for 2 exceeds your annual mortgage. Your house. So I am a DINK. I feel weird saying that because it sounds like an insult.
Sounds like something me and Jeff would text about you behind your back.
Right? What a DINK, right? But I didn't realize, like, when I get off this show, the freedom that I have is very different, and the financial freedom too. But I'm saying, like, we go off to Golden, then we go walk around Sloan's Lake, then we maybe go to a bookstore, then I'll go to a wine tasting. And it's also about the freedom that you have, not just financially, but time,
right?
Which is money too. What do you guys think about that?
I was rewatching Sopranos, and I was just laying in bed, and this is such an obscure example. And Tony Soprano, he famously gets angry at everything at the drop of a hat. And this woman is getting angry, right? And Tony Soprano, on the other side of him being angry, usually his wife's calming him down. He goes, "Listen, Carmela, she doesn't have kids. She doesn't know." And it like hit me like, it's true. When you don't have kids, you don't know. And I'm not putting you down
Not
as
at
a
all.
DINK.
No.
I'm saying
As a DINK.
you don't know. It's a different world. To be responsible for 2 other human beings that if you're not there for them, supporting them or trying to lead them in the best way you can, it's a big responsibility that I take very seriously. And if for someone to be in this situation where you're fighting about a similar thing, but 2 totally different points of view, Tony Soprano even gets it. And I was like, wow, that's just so like funny when I heard that. I was like, that's right, man. Sometimes you have to give people a benefit of the doubt. Like, you don't have kids. You don't know what it's like. And I'm not shaming you for that. I'm just telling you, we don't see eye to eye on this.
Right, that's it. And just like we have kids, but we don't know what it's like to have 6 kids. And like,
right.
6 kids would be like, you have no idea what it's like to have a 6-month-old and a 16-year-old. And you're like, you know what? I don't. Everybody's situation is different. But I think now, unless you're a couple that has a little miracle unexpected, when you sit down,
you're here.
if you're adults about it.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if your reaction was on camera.
That's how a lot of us got here.
Okay.
Alan's reaction was on camera, but he didn't get funny.
But if you are being responsible and you sit down and you and Brooks are like, here's the ledger, and what does the number come out to? I think if a lot of people did that, financially it would be irresponsible to have a child.
And that's why. And also, we listened to when everyone said it changes your life. We took that very seriously. We just.
That's smart.
We heard that and we're like, this is the biggest decision of your life, and everyone says it changes it. Let's think really hard.
If you're on the fence, I would err on the side of not.
A little oopsie there. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Inside Edition investigative reporter Lisa Guerrero. She's telling us all about hosting the docuseries Secrets of Playboy, as a former cover model herself. And did woke culture get Queen's song Fat Bottom Girls dropped from their greatest hits collection? We're talking about it next and how good of a singer I am.
Did you ever work at a fast food?
I was alive.
I worked
at Burger King.
I just needed to know.
Oh, and Taco John's.
But I think it teaches like fast food or just a waiter in general, because I was a waiter for. I think it teaches you different life lessons, kind of like you were saying.
Yes.
You learn to respect people. You learn how to work hard for not that much money, and you have to deal with difficult people in difficult situations because you want to get paid. If you tell them like, hey, you can't tell them whatever you do on the internet. You have to figure out a way to make it better and then somehow get paid from it.
Teaches you how to be sort of capable. You know what I mean? Because you got to work fast and, and under pressure. And you got to. The burgers are coming off, and you got to wrap them and get them because there's so many people, and it never stops and never stops, and it makes you super capable at just things. You know, I think it's a great lesson to work.
I think it totally is. I think but you were saying the same thing.
Oh yeah, I was saying back when I was with the monster. She told me that she told me she was a monster. She's a horrible person and a thief. But you know, she told me that there was this incredible kid at the McDonald's up the street, and she'd been there like 11 o'clock in the at night, and she was like, he would be like, "Welcome McDonald's. Are you having a happy meal day or something?" Like he had enthusiasm, and I went up there, and I had forgotten about it because it was like a couple weeks later, and he was on the drive-through, and I got his card, and we met, and we went out to lunch, and as soon as I'm ready to hire an employee, he's 20 years old. Young, I think he's from Puerto Rico, but just like he had with that 20-year-old energy that you and I that's gone.
Right.
But just you're like, look at this kid and his drive. You can only get that from being under stress all the time and realizing he's an assistant manager at 20.
Right.
Bikes and ride. That's part of it. Welcome back to DBL. That's Queen's 1978 classic Fat Bottom Girls. But is the song now being canceled? It was left off the list of Queen's greatest hits on an internet radio service for kids called Yoto. Other songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, We Will Rock You. How lame did I just sound? We Will Rock You.
You did read that like a SAT.
We Will Rock You, and Another One Bites the Dust did make the cut. Some people were quick to assume the platform removed the song.
Wait, hold on. Another One Bites the Dust made it? Isn't that about death?
Yeah, very much.
Oh, so okay.
So how about Mama, I Just Killed a Man?
What about I Shot the Sheriff? That's attacking law
All right, we're
enforcement.
way off here. Assume the platform removed the song because it's offensive, but it did include the song Bicycle Race that also has the term Fat Bottom Girls in the lyrics. The site also posts some warnings saying some songs contain adult themes and that parental discretion is advised. What about I like big butts and I cannot? Is it the word fat? Yeah. Is that it?
I don't know.
Or is it the concept of having a big tush?
Tori, you're trying to break this down and make it make sense, and it's not logical. What happened is a certain group of people got to decide how we speak. And so now, and what they've done, because they wrapped it, I was saying last week about how you take a good message and you wrap your nonsense message around it, so it's a way to get things through.
Like a date with
There
bacon.
were people being spoken of ill, and there were people being disrespected, and we all agreed on that. So we agreed to change some of our language. But now we've letting our daughter's friend from school decide how we talk about everything, but they're people and they have biases, so some things are okay if certain people say them and some things aren't. So this is the world we live in now, where randos will decide to cancel art, which I thought they were in favor of. But understand, anytime somebody's trying to talk to you about your language, they're not interested in you learning or elevating as a person. They're trying to control you and control the way you speak, because controlling speech is how you control thought.
Woo!
So this is what happens. Woo! You guys let your daughter's friends run the world, and this is what's going to happen. So we'll just decide what can be said, but it'll be up to the whim of whoever, because certain people get a pass.
Go ahead, Jeff.
That's what I've been saying for years, right? I don't mind if crazy people in the corner want to make up certain things that we can and cannot say. It's when it leaks in to producers and heads of networks and heads of UPS, and you start translating the way you hire and fire people based on a 16-year-old's point of view. And that's what happened. It got into the workforce. It got into society. the highly acclaimed Yoto website. Yoto, get real. You know what I mean? They're just trying to do their thing.
That's my homepage.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. I appreciate the conversation, but where it's coming from is completely ridiculous. But it's no different than we tried to cancel Baby It's Cold Outside. And did you ever see, and everyone was all on board, that's sexual abuse. And at the time, we all had to be like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, yes, they, whatever we want to call you. So now, did you ever hear that comedian talk about the lyrics of Baby It's Cold Outside and Cardi B's WAP song? Did you ever hear that when he goes side by side? He goes, they want to cancel this song. And he reads a lyric from that. And he goes, Cardi B. And he reads a lyric and does the whole song. He goes, which song should be canceled now? Wow. Because Cardi B's song never came up. They, in fact, played it on the radio. And I don't even know if I could say the name of that song.
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
I love when people want to cancel things when you can't read them on TV, but they're like, that's okay. And there's other examples as well.
Can I ask
you? But you don't want to cancel that.
Very quickly, is selective wokeism, which I think
of
we're all
course,
saying,
when it benefits you.
Right, but is it getting better? Do you
No,
think
it's getting worse because people are using it. Like, Al, you said it beautifully and perfectly. Al said it perfectly.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
The wildfires that swept through Maui are the deadliest in U.S. history in more than a century. At least 100 people have died and more than 850 are missing. On social media, people are speculating about what could have caused the fires. One trending theory is that the fires started due to an attack from a directed energy weapon. 3 viral images appearing to show evidence of directed energy weapons have been shared online. But do these images really show that directed energy weapons started the wildfires in Maui? Let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the National Weather Service, a reverse image search using Revi, the Canton Repository, SpaceX, and Chilevisión Noticias, a Chilean news company. If you haven't heard of directed energy weapons, I've got you covered. They're weapons like lasers that use energy fired at the speed of light to damage or destroy targets. According to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, many countries, including the U.S., are researching their use. But these viral images do not show those weapons. As of August 21st, the exact cause of the Maui wildfire is still unknown, although the National Weather Service says the risk of fire was high given high winds and dry conditions on the island. So what is actually happening in these images? A lot of different things that have nothing to do with Maui. Using a reverse image search, Verify traced this picture back to a January 2018 Facebook post from the Canton Repository, a local Ohio news outlet claiming to show footage of a controlled burn at a refinery in Ohio. We traced this image back to posts from SpaceX in May of 2018. According to SpaceX, the images show a time-lapse photo of a SpaceX rocket launch in California. And finally, Verify traced this image back to a viral TikTok video from May 25th, 2023. According to the original description, the video was taken in Chile. So we can verify, no. These 3 images do not show evidence that directed energy weapons started the wildfires in Maui.
Did Black women fit Playboy's standard of beauty?
No. I think politically, they tried to do the right thing. But once you got in there, they just was like, okay, we did what we were supposed to do.
Welcome back. That was a sneak peek from season 2 of Secrets of Playboy. And earlier, we spoke with journalist and cover girl, Lisa Guerrero. Take a look.
Award-winning journalist Lisa Guerrero joins us live. Lisa, thank you for being here.
Lisa, I watched season 1 and I have season 2 on DVR. It really opened my eyes to Hugh Hefner and the whole thing. How is Secrets of Playboy different from the first season in season 2?
I like to say that season 1 really focused on the decades of misogyny and really the wrongdoing that so many women came forward to share that happened at the mansion or at the Playboy clubs. Some of these women were Hugh Hefner's girlfriends, some were playmates, some were bunnies. So, you know, I think the shocking thing about season 1 was that we learned about so many sexual assaults and so much sexual harassment around the brand. Season 2 this year is really about the women themselves. We rarely talk about Hugh Hefner in season 2. In season 2, we talk about why women chose to pose for Playboy, what the experience was like for them, and crucially, what the ramifications have been for them in their lives and in their careers.
I was so hooked on season 1. I'm very much looking forward to season 2. I'm curious, although Playboy was conscious of representation, can you explain why race was still an uncomfortable issue for some of the models?
So for decades, Playboy was really the brand that for many people set this almost impossible standard of beauty. And because Hugh Hefner himself was a man of his time, and he thought that Marilyn Monroe was the ultimate woman, so many of the women that Playboy platformed through those decades were blonde, blue-eyed white women. That was his standard of beauty. And what we saw later in the last 2 decades was a real push from within the organization and with society to say that that is not everybody's standard of beauty. So when I spoke to Elon Carter, for example, who was one of the few Black playmates, she told me that although, yes, Playboy did platform some Black women, that by far the majority of playmates and cover girls were white, and they were typically very young and very blonde. But it's time, post Me Too, post Time's Up, it's really time to have these conversations about the hypocrisy surrounding the brand and about women being able to be the narrators of their own sexuality. And we get to decide what's sexy, not some old white man, frankly.
I love that soundbite. Cut it. You were on the cover of Playboy in January 2006, and I celebrate and applaud that decision. You were 40 and looking fierce. Why did you decide to pose, and what was your experience like? Was it comfortable?
Yeah, I posed for Playboy when I was 40 for a very strategic reason. I had been a sportscaster for over a decade. I went very quickly from local to regional to national sports. I ended up on Best Damn Sports Show, period, on Fox, and finally on Monday Night Football as the sideline reporter in 2003 for ABC. When my sports career ended, I wanted to be a correspondent for an entertainment news show. So I used the platform that Playboy provided to tell everybody during my press tour that I wanted to work for Inside Edition or Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight. Inside Edition heard me talking about that. They did a story about me appearing at 40 as one of the first Latinas on the cover ever. And they said, we really like her, and we think that our middle-aged female fan base that watches Inside Edition is going to like her. And so they signed me to a 2-year contract. That was 17 years ago.
Wow.
And since then, I've been with the show. I've done 650 investigations, and it has turned into an amazing relationship. But what's weird is that I wouldn't have been able to do all these investigations had I not once posed for the cover of Playboy.
Manifest.
Fascinating. I know, but put in the work. Thank you so much, Lisa. DBL Nation, you can watch Secrets of Playboy now on A&E. We'll be right back. Thanks again.
The new app is called Saturn, like the planet, billed as a tool for schedules, events, and friends. The description explains users can see what friends are doing in real time, chat with them, organize events, and share schedules all in one place. It is one of the top most downloaded free apps in the Apple App Store. A Verify viewer sent us this post with more than 100,000 shares warning of the dangers of the app, that it offers no privacy protections for the kids the app is marketing to, allowing anyone to log in and see where they are throughout their day. That raises some obvious security concerns, so let's verify. Is the Saturn app accessible to non-students? We turn to the experts and the app itself to find out.
We were easily able to access whole lists of students all over the country.
Chris McKenna tested out the app for Protect Young Eyes, a group focused on tech best practices for kids and families. The app organizes users by schools, but McKenna found it wide open to non-students like himself.
It didn't matter that I was a 40-year-old man. I could see their connected social media accounts like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Venmo.
After he and others online shared their concerns, Saturn released an update early this week and another Thursday, strengthening the high school email verification requirements. I tested it on 2 phones Thursday afternoon. One blocked me from making an account at all. The other let me in, but I couldn't do much without verifying a school email.
We're always in a game of whack-a-mole. We're needing for thousands of parents to share it for an app to care. to make choices that it should have made in the first place.
So we can verify, yes, the Saturn app has been accessible to non-students, but it's getting more difficult. And critics point out it still makes a lot of personal information available to other student users.
Exactly where I am at what times of day during the school day is pretty important information.
The FTC warns apps are increasingly deceptive in how they use kids' information. While Saturn developers continue to make changes, McKenna advises proceed with caution on this and any other app marketed to young people.
Be curious before you're condemning, because there is going to be another app in 6 months. And if all you've done is create a culture around digital conversations that are always punitive and horrible and nasty, then they're not going to tell you about it.
It's because classrooms are increasingly relying on digital tools that experts say schools might need to consider adding software supply lists to keep parents in the loop with what online apps and programs their kids really need this school year. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Labor Day is just around the corner, but don't let car troubles ruin your long weekend road trips. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, if your brakes are making a squealing noise, this can indicate worn brake pads, so have a professional replace them before hitting the road. Next, check that fluid levels, like your engine oil, transmission fluids, and windshield washer fluid. And lastly, make sure that all interior and exterior lights on your car are working, and replace burned out bulbs as necessary. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call at 1-800-687-1821. Before we go, we have a quick story. We want to give a big shout out to Riri. Rihanna, the singer, reportedly welcomed another baby boy with her partner ASAP Rocky. Now, Riri hasn't confirmed the news, but some reports say she gave birth earlier this month, and the child's name starts with an R. I feel like we're playing Hangman. She's already mom to 1-year-old Riza Athelston.
That's a great name, and also named after, I'm assuming, the producer for the Wu-Tang Clan?
It's also, I know that Athelston is after ASAP's middle name. That's something I know.
That's really cool.
Helpful.
There's a little hip-hop fun fact from Tori.
Thank you.
And she ends it with, and that's something I know.
And that's something I know. DBL is new
girl.
every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.